Two islands, two peoples. Though on opposite sides of the globe, separated by nearly 10,000 miles, language, culture, and history, these islands are drawn together by their shared values of democracy, their passion for culture, and an indomitable resilient spirit. This is the story of a friendship shaped by their values, strengthened by the mutual respect of each other, and sustained by a vision for a better future. St. Lucia and Taiwan.
Taiwan is an island nation the same way that we are, and we have some similar difficulties, challenges as small island states. And although Taiwan is about 57 times our size, Taiwan has essentially an island, it features certain island things. For example, the same challenges of climate change that we are facing, Taiwan is facing also at the moment.
We both have to deal with larger hegemonic powers.
We as a country have agreed to become diplomatic allies with Taiwan. And of course, the reasons have been shared by the administrations to say that Taiwan is democratic. We will choose our friends based on certain principles.
And yet, even the strongest foundations, the toughest partnerships can be tested in a world where alliances shift and global influence is constantly being redefined. St. Lucia changed its diplomatic course briefly. However, the break did little to erode the essence of the friendship. There is a story that connects the two countries across oceans and beliefs.
When St. Lucia first had diplomatic relations with Taiwan back in 1984, Taiwan at that point had about 27 allies. When we reinitiated diplomatic relations in 2007, I think they were down to 24. So they're now about half of what they were in 2007. And I think we've stayed there over the past 18 years, and that relationship certainly has gotten to the point where there's a great degree of acceptance of Taiwan here in St. Lucia.
St. Lucia is working very hard to develop that relationship, the government-to-government relationship as well as the people-to-people relationship.
When we have more people-to-people connection, that we understand each other, we share that there are so many values that we share together, this will be the core of how we strengthen our friendship. And I would say, I think over the year, it has become a brethren, family feeling rather than a government-to-government relation. And I think this will be what keeps us together and to strengthen further our link and our bond between our two countries.
It is that unwavering bond that allowed St. Lucia and Taiwan in the years that followed the re-establishment of ties to rebuild with ease, not from scratch, but from a deep-rooted respect that never truly faded.
This is a partnership that we are looking at rather than competition. This is a teamwork that we thought that we are pursuing the global development together, that we could share the prosperity, the opportunity of prosperity for all.
St. Lucians are beginning to understand Taiwan. They begin to see how developed, how progressive its people are, how warm its people are.
Which is why we find ourselves in good hands here in St. Lucia, that we have a wonderful partner which share the same values, and we are great partners, and we are able to work towards the economic prosperity for both our countries.
Proud of it, proud of it, proud of it, proud of it. With all the wonders in the world, St. Lucia's only meant for me. So much history to be told and so much more for eyes to see. The colors feel the love. I can tell
I
you all the way.
think there is that kind of commonality and understanding that the world is sometimes a very difficult place and that you've got to form friendships with other small like-minded players within the space.
That shared experience of being small nations, charting their course in a world dominated by larger powers, has fostered a very strong sense of solidarity between St. Lucia and Taiwan. Taiwan has extended a substantial and impactful portfolio of aid to St. Lucia to strengthen the country's capacity to thrive and to affirm, through the quiet power of soft diplomacy, its commitment to building a lasting partnership. In doing so, Taiwan is strengthening not just its allies, but its own voice and visibility on the global stage.
It is very difficult to look beyond the significant foreign aid contribution that Taiwan makes to St. Lucia. And for a country of only 23 million people, well over 10,000 miles away from our shores, and not having an immediate close historical cultural affinity to St. Lucia, it is in fact one of our leading foreign aid contributors.
Taiwan is able to assist us in a number of sectors, and the big ones are
agriculture, ICT, community, business revitalization, youth and women economic empowerment, public health, and education. Taiwan take a people-centered approach, and not only provide the aid or resource itself. We want to build something last longer, and for the local partner to be able to take ownership of it. So each project we bring Taiwan know-how, and such as agriculture, ICT, public health, etc. And we work together with St. Lucia government ministries, and we work together and side by side. And we focus on co-creating system. So that's why we work side by side with the government agency to implement the project together to satisfy the need of the people.
St. Lucia is fortunate to have an ally with a unique diplomatic identity that finds expression in how it prioritizes human development and capacity building. Nowhere has this impact been more significant than in education. Taiwan's engagement in the sector has made a real difference in the creation of access to higher education. Taiwan's investment through scholarships, vocational training, and institutional collaboration has supported St. Lucia's efforts to educate, train, and uplift its people.
And the fact that Taiwan could be assisting us to educate our people is a big thing, because from 2007, the Taiwanese began opening the ICDF scholarships and the MOFA scholarships to St. Lucia. We have approximately 200 St. Lucian students studying in Taiwan at the moment. It provides an avenue for our people to become a little more knowledgeable about Taiwan.
We assign 3 Mandarin teachers in high school like St. Mary's College, St. Joseph Convent, a few for comprehensive secondary school, and also for Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, public servant, and police and immigration for Mandarin teaching. The Taiwanese scholarship is very popular as well. So this portfolio of project not only deliver the aid, but also seek for the long-term partnership.
If you give your people an education, they will use that education to set up economic development. They've built their country on a very firm educational footing. They've made education a priority.
In agriculture, St. Lucia is also benefiting tremendously from the generosity of the Taiwanese. Drawing on its own transformation in that sector, Taiwan is in the driver's seat, guiding a series of targeted interventions that support St. Lucia's efforts to feed itself, innovate, adopt sustainable practices, and build resilience in rural communities.
Very early on, they were very keen on being able to feed themselves. They saw food security as a first pillar that had to be achieved, and they were able to make really good strides in terms of being able to produce food and to be able to support that aspect of their development.
You probably would not be very surprised. St. Lucia and Taiwan, we share a lot of similarities. We've been through agriculture period as one of our major industry sector, and later on we move on to different areas of development which boost our economy. So we understand how things run in a way that we do share, and we do share with St. Lucia.
We try to provide a capacity building in vegetables and fruit. And we introduce the variety and do the trial, promote techniques to farmers, and we promote the ICT, smart agriculture technology like IoT, iFarm, and ultimately we try to link the farmer to access the market.
Taiwan's impact in St. Lucia also extends to community business revitalization, public health, and youth and women's economic empowerment. In each of these areas, Taiwan is bringing financial and technical resources that are building small enterprises, creating pathways to financial independence, and strengthening health systems for non-communicable disease prevention. These efforts are aimed at shaping and securing the future by building the infrastructure for future development.
We expect to invite St. Lucia all sectors to bring something on the table and to work together. The government provide the guidance and a project and go through it, and then we work together and make it happen. So it's about the mutual empowering, and we learn to we grow together, we learn together, and we deliver something meant to last together.
We share experience and knowledge, as well as the same time we help build a capacity here in St. Lucia.
Moi content en pile parce que ça c'est la première fois pour moi ici aujourd'hui à Grande Rivière pas pour ça tout seul. Moi content en Chai aussi parce que nous avons parti en bel Digital Development Center.
Beyond size, shared values, diplomatic solidarity, and shared challenges on the global stage, there is another layer to the Taiwan and St. Lucia relationship: their parallel experience with colonialism. Both islands have endured the complexities of foreign domination, St. Lucia with its legacy of shifting control between European powers, and Taiwan under Japanese rule for 50 years. Taiwan, once a recipient of vital aid and guidance from partners like the United States, is now paying it forward, offering support rooted in its own hard-won success.
Taiwan has certainly really transformed itself from 1949 to the current era. It is one of the world's top 30 economies, despite the fact that it's only about 23 million people. It's got a GDP per capita approaching $35,000 per person. It is very, very successful in terms of its ability to industrialize. It has been a tech leader. It has certainly been able to achieve some remarkable things. In fact, you've heard of the Asian miracle. There's, of course, the Taiwan miracle, and they were able to, through a lot of help, we have to say, from the United States as well, to transform sector after sector of the country.
At the heart of Taiwan's modern economic transformation is its world-leading semiconductor industry. The world's most advanced chips are made in Taiwan. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, is the world's largest and most advanced dedicated independent semiconductor plant manufacturing chips for major tech companies like Apple and Intel. A veritable who's who list of the global tech industry.
We do produce 90% of the global high-end semiconductors.
Semiconductors are what the world is driven by right about now. Everybody is using them. Every bit of our technology is dependent on semiconductors. And in fact, Taiwan makes the best of the best in terms of semiconductors. And there has been this idea that in addition, that Taiwan's not even so much protected by its military strength, but more so by its semiconductor strength. And the term, the silicon shield, is quite often used to be able to say that Taiwan is too precious to touch.
Notwithstanding, that shield is under pressure. In recent years, growing military and political escalation from China has placed the Taiwan Strait at the center of global concern. With one of the world's busiest shipping routes and its dominant share of the production of advanced semiconductors, Taiwan's security is not just a regional issue, it's a global one. Conflict in the Taiwan Strait would disrupt international supply chains, destabilize economies, and threaten peace in the Indo-Pacific. In this high-stakes environment, the call for stability is not just about protecting Taiwan.
1/5 of the global sea freight goes through Taiwan. That will be around $2.5 trillion worth of the shipping of the cargo going through Taiwan. So if in case there is any instability, let's say any aggression of violence or whatever, it will be firstly because you want to make sure that your cargo go through a very safe place. So these cargo will have to move to other routes, which will be much more costly for sure. And then you cannot guarantee that these goods will arrive in time and so on. So there is an estimate done not by me, by Bloomberg economic forecast. They were saying that if in case there is a situation happening in Taiwan Strait, the unfortunate cost for the global world may be around $10 trillion, which will be 10% of the global GDP. Meaning that this is beyond Taiwan, this is beyond St. Lucia, this is a global threat.
The situation of the Taiwan Straits and mainland China, People's Republic of China relations is certainly a global concern. If one were to see significant escalation of conflict, if one were to potentially see maybe even an invasion of Taiwan by the People's Republic of China, the implications are very, very dire.
Everybody will be affected. So in order to prevent that to happen, we're very glad to see that the global community right now has become aware of these escalating tension, and then the global community, including St. Lucia, we are all voicing out our concern to the particular force of threat, meaning China, in a way that none of us would like to see an escalation of of these tension. And then in Taiwan, we try our very best to try to avoid the situation by strengthening ourselves in terms of the different capacity, in terms of the different way to prevent things from happening. This is not only for Taiwan, but for the global world, St. Lucia, of course, included.
It would certainly cause for a lot of disruption in terms of development right here in St. Lucia, in terms of some of the support that Taiwan is very closely connected with.
At the moment, Taiwan is our biggest developmental partner in almost every sense of the word. Think about it, education. Scholarships have really dried up in most parts of the world. When I was an undergrad, there were many more scholarships from the United States, from Cuba, from the UK. But now, Taiwan alone, as I said, Taiwan is giving us 44 scholarships this year. You can see the grant funding that Taiwan provides for our government. And anybody who served as an MP knows the importance of the CDP, the Constituency Development Program. Taiwan, having made the CDP available to us, it touches the life of almost every St. Lucian, whether it's a footpath, whether it's a community center, name it. You can see all the various things that have been built around our country. Taiwan has provided a lot of support for our developmental thrust.
Taiwan's footprint in St. Lucia is both wide and meaningful. Taiwan, through its partnership with St. Lucia and its other allies, is demonstrating that despite being a small nation with big challenges, it is leading with purpose, investing in people, and staying true to its democratic values. That means something to St. Lucia.
St. Lucia really needs to continue showing its diplomatic alliances with Taiwan, and for us to support it in as many ways as we can. And in that way, we, St. Lucia, those who are allies, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Haiti, which is also an ally, as well as Belize in the Caribbean, also called CARICOM essentially. These countries need to continue to support Taiwan in its quest. We really want to thank the government and people of Taiwan for what they do.